Do you know how much protein you ate yesterday? Not a guess, an actual number. Most of my patients don't know their protein intake when they see me for the very first time on their weight loss journey. And here's the thing, almost every single one of them is eating less than half of what their body actually needs. So today I'm going to show you exactly what a full day of eating looks like when you hit two numbers that matter more than almost anything else on your health journey: 120 grams of protein and 30 grams of fiber. Real meals, real numbers, nothing fancy, nothing you can buy at a regular grocery store. Stick around because by the end of this video, you are going to have an entire day mapped out for you. So let's start with the obvious question. Why protein and fiber specifically? Why do these two matter? Here's a simple version. Protein is what protects your muscle while you're losing weight, and fiber is what keeps you full, keeps your blood sugar steady, and keeps your gut healthy. If you only fix one thing in your diet, I mean two things, these will be the two I would pick: protein and fiber. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Khalid. I'm a board certified internal medicine and obesity medicine doctor. Let's talk about protein first. When you lose weight, especially quickly, your body doesn't just lose fat. It loses some muscle too. This is true whether you're losing weight through diet alone or with the help of a GLP-1 medication. And remember, muscle is what keeps your metabolism running. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body is able to burn. Getting enough protein, somewhere around 1 grams of protein per pound of your ideal body weight, paired with resistance training, helps protect that muscle in a way that almost nothing else can. Let me tell you, I get a lot of hate for quoting these protein goals. And no, I'm not confusing pounds and kilograms. And I am not confusing that hundreds of different versions of protein guidelines around us. However, please know and realize that the usual protein guidelines are to prevent protein deficiency. Those are not optimal for good health. Now, fiber, this nutrient is a little less talked about, but honestly, fiber is just as important as protein. Fiber slows down digestion, which means you feel full longer after eating. It helps keep your blood sugar steady, and it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which we are learning matters for almost everything from inflammation to your immune system. Most adults eat less than half the fiber they actually need. So now you know the why behind protein and fiber. Now let's go to the fun part. What does an actual day look like with 120 grams of protein and 30 grams of fiber? Before we get there, let me ask you, how many grams of protein do you get on most days? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's build your day meal by meal. Let's start with the breakfast. Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong because a typical breakfast consisting of toast, cereal, or a bagel gives you almost no protein and barely any fiber. So, here's what I would do instead for breakfast: 3 whole eggs scrambled. That's about 18 grams of protein right there. Now, if you don't like or want whole eggs, then egg whites would do as well. And that's where the protein in the egg comes from. You may add a cup of black beans on the side, which sounds a little unusual for breakfast, I know, but stick with me because that's another 15 grams of protein and a full 15 grams of fiber in one single food. Round it out with half an avocado, which adds fiber and some healthy fat to keep you satisfied. Now, if you don't like or want black beans, then you may add a piece of leftover chicken. Let's add up our breakfast. 18 grams of protein from the eggs, 15 more from the beans. That's 33 grams of protein before you have even left the house, and around 20 grams of fiber, 15 from beans and 5 from avocado just for breakfast alone. If eggs and beans for breakfast isn't your thing, here's another easier version: a cup of plain Greek yogurt, which gives you about 20 grams of protein on its own, mixed with a tablespoon of chia seeds and some berries. That combination gets you close to 25 grams of protein and about 10 grams of fiber. And it takes less than a minute to put it all together. With either of these breakfast choices, you are already a third of the way to your protein and fiber goals for the day before 9 in the morning. For lunch, let's keep it simple because lunch is usually the meal people rush through the most, especially on a work day. Let's make a bowl. 4 ounces of grilled chicken breast, that's about 35 grams of protein, and a full cup of lentils or chickpeas on the side, adding another 15 grams of protein and around 12 grams of fiber. Then load it up with vegetables of your choice, maybe a big handful of spinach, some roasted broccoli, or whatever you have in the fridge. That single bowl gives you around 50 grams of protein and somewhere around 14 grams of fiber. One bowl, one simple meal. Now, here's the thing I really want you to notice. We are only at lunch and we have already crossed 80 grams of protein and roughly 34 grams of fiber for the day. We've technically already hit our fiber goal and we are not even at dinner yet. That's the whole point of this exercise. When you build meals around protein and fiber first, the numbers add up faster than you would expect, almost without trying once you practice and learn this concept. Let's talk about dinner now. By this point, we've got some room to relax a little bit because most of our numbers are already covered. Let's do a simple baked salmon, about 5 ounces, which gives you around 35 grams of protein. Plus, salmon also has healthy fats that are good for your heart. Serve your salmon with a cup of roasted Brussels sprouts, adding another 4 grams of fiber and a small serving of quinoa, which brings a little bit more fiber and a little extra protein on top of that. That's roughly 40 more grams of protein at dinner. Let's do the full math together right now. For your protein, you've got 33 grams from breakfast, 50 from lunch, 40 grams of protein from dinner. That's 123 grams of protein for the day. We have already passed our 120 grams goal and we have even not talked about snacks yet. And for fiber, breakfast got you 20 grams of fiber, lunch around 14 grams of fiber, and dinner adding another 4 plus grams of fiber. This gets you around 30 grams of fiber in a day. Now, for your snacks, they could just be to round things out or keep you satisfied between meals. A small handful of almonds, which adds fiber and a touch more protein, or an apple with a tablespoon of peanut butter, another 3 to 4 grams of fiber. Remember, your snacks at this point aren't required to hit your numbers today, but they can help fill any gaps, and honestly, they just make the day feel less restrictive. So there it is, a full day, 3 real meals, nothing weird or expensive, and you get around 120 grams of protein and over 30 grams of fiber without a single protein shake or supplement required. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, especially if you are on a GLP-1 medication. That is a lot of food, and won't it blow your calorie budget for the day? Here's the trick. And this is the part that actually matters most. Protein and fiber are naturally filling. They're some of the most satisfying things you can eat gram for gram compared to processed carbohydrates and added sugar. So when you build your plate around protein and fiber first, you naturally have less room and less desire for the stuff that quietly adds ton of calories without filling you up. Things like chips, pastries, sugary drinks, the mindless snacking that happens when you are not actually satisfied from your last meal. As for food quantity, you can always divide your big meals into 2 small meals so you can eat more frequently than 3 times a day, but smaller meals instead of 3 big ones. Remember, if you are on a GLP-1 medication and your appetite is already smaller than it used to be, what you eat matters even more, not less. When you are eating less food overall, you need every single bite to count. Protein and fiber first means the limited food you are eating is actually working for you. All right, let's recap the whole day quickly. Breakfast, eggs and beans or Greek yogurt with chia seeds. Lunch, a big protein and legume bowl. Dinner, salmon with Brussels sprouts and quinoa. A snack or two if you need. Total for the day, right around 120 grams of protein and over 30 grams of fiber. If you are still with me, here is your homework. Pick just one meal today. Doesn't need to be all three, just one meal. And swap it for something closer to what I just talked about. Then come back and let me know in the comments how full you felt afterwards. And share your favorite high protein and fiber recipes with us. So that's a full day mapped out, ready for you to recreate based on your meal preference. It's about the concept, not the exact ingredients. No guessing, no complicated apps required, just real food doing real work for your health. If this video helped you, hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. And if you know someone who's been struggling to figure out what to actually eat on their weight loss journey, then share this video with them. Sometimes seeing the whole day of real food laid out is all it takes to understand that this is doable. Stay happy, stay healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.